The year was 2147. The big colony ship called Hambit had traveled for many long years through the dark of space. It carried thousands of people from Earth, most of them from Korea. They left their home planet to find a new world to live on. The ship was like a small city floating among the stars. It had halls, rooms, farms, schools, and even a gym. Everyone worked hard to keep it running. Ji-hoon stood on the bridge and looked at the big screen. He was a security officer, tall and strong, with short black hair and calm eyes. He wore the gray uniform of the security team. Today was a big day. After all these years, the ship had reached a new star system called Kale 9. There was a moon in this system named Ilara. Scans showed it had air, water, and land that looked good for humans. The captain, an older man named Captain Kim, spoke to everyone on the ship. "We have arrived at our new home. The first team will go down to Ilara today. We need to check if it is safe." Ji-hoon was chosen to lead the small exploration team. He felt proud, but also careful. He knew space could be dangerous. He picked 4 other people, 2 scientists and 2 more security officers. They put on their spacesuits. The suits were white with red lines and had strong helmets. They carried tools, guns for protection, and small machines to test the air and ground. They went into the shuttle. It was a small ship that could fly from the big Hanbit down to the moon. Ji-hoon sat in the pilot seat. He checked everything one more time. "Ready?" he asked his team. "Ready," they all said. The shuttle left the Hanbit. It flew fast toward Ilara. From far away, the moon looked gray and rocky, but as they got closer, they saw green patches and blue water. It looked beautiful. They landed softly on a flat area near some strange hills. They looked like old buildings made of stone and metal. Some parts were broken, covered in dust. The team stepped out. Their boots made marks in the soft ground. The air was thin but breathable. They took off their helmets and breathed fresh air for the first time in years. "This place is amazing," said one scientist, Dr. Park. She pointed to a tall tower, half buried in the ground. "These must be ruins from an old civilization." Ji-hoon nodded. "We need to be careful. We do not know what is here." They walked toward the ruins. The structures were big, with sharp edges and strange symbols carved into the stone. Some walls glowed with a soft blue light. The team used scanners to take pictures and read the symbols. Everything seemed quiet. Then they found something special. In the middle of a large open area was a round platform. On the platform sat a small black box. It looked new, not old like the ruins. A faint hum came from inside. "Do not touch it yet," Ji-hoon said. But Dr. Park was excited. She walked closer. "It looks like a power source or a data core," she said. She used her scanner. "It is active. I think it is waiting for something." Ji-hoon felt a bad feeling in his stomach. "Step back. We should call the ship first." But it was too late. Dr. Park pressed a button on her scanner to send a signal. The black box suddenly opened. A bright light shot out. A loud sound filled the air, like metal grinding. From the ground around them, small machines rose up. They were drones, round and silver, with red eyes that glowed. There were many of them, 10, 20, more. The drones did not wait. They flew fast toward the team. Blue energy beams shot from them. One beam hit a security officer in the arm. He screamed and fell. "Take cover!" Ji-hoon shouted. They ran behind a broken wall. The drones followed. Beams hit the stone and made sparks. Ji-hoon pulled out his gun. It was a strong rifle made for space. He aimed and fired. The bullet hit one drone. It exploded in a shower of sparks. "Good shot," said another team member. But there were too many. The drones flew in groups. They shot without stopping. One scientist got hit in the leg. Ji-hoon ran to him and pulled him to safety. A beam grazed Ji-hoon's shoulder. It burned through his suit. Pain shot through his body, but he did not stop. "We need to get back to the shuttle," he yelled. They tried to run, but more drones came from the ruins. The ground shook as bigger machines woke up. These were taller, like walking robots with long arms that ended in sharp blades. Ji-hoon thought fast. He looked around. Near them was a pile of mining tools they had brought, explosives for digging samples. He grabbed a pack of charges. "Cover me," he told the others. He ran out, firing his gun to keep the drones busy. He reached the explosives and set them quickly. He threw the pack toward a group of drones. Then he ran back. The explosion was loud. Fire and smoke rose up. Many drones broke apart. Pieces flew everywhere. For a moment, the attack stopped. Ji-hoon helped the injured people toward the shuttle. His shoulder hurt a lot. Blood ran down his arm. But he kept moving. From the sky, more drones came. They looked like a dark cloud. The ruins were waking up fully now. The old machines of the Vorath Empire had seen humans as enemies. They wanted to destroy the invaders. Ji-hoon pushed the last team member into the shuttle. "Go. Fly back to the Hanbit." "What about you?" Dr. Park asked. "I will hold them off. Tell the captain what happened, and tell Ji-hoon, I'm sorry I started this without her." He closed the shuttle door. The small ship lifted off with a roar. It flew up toward the big ship in the sky. Ji-hoon stood alone on the ground. Drones flew around him. He reloaded his gun. His suit was torn, his body hurt, but his eyes were hard. "If they want to fight," he said in a low voice, "they get one." He fired again. A drone exploded close to him. He did not run. He stood his ground. The moon Ilara was quiet no more. Smoke filled the air. Explosions lit up the ruins. High above, on the Hanbit, the crew watched the screens. They saw the shuttle coming back. They saw the fight below. Captain Kim looked worried. Ji-hoon stood next to him. She was tall, with long dark hair tied back. Her face was calm, but her eyes burned. She watched Ji-hoon on the screen. He was still fighting. She clenched her fists. She knew what she had to do. Dust still hung in the air, like gray fog. The ruins on Ilara looked like broken teeth under the big sky. Ji-hoon leaned against the cracked wall. His breathing came in short gasps. The medical patch on his shoulder stopped most of the bleeding, but pain still burned deep inside. His leg felt heavy, like it did not want to move. He watched Ji-hoon stand in the open. She held her rifle steady. Around her, pieces of destroyed drones smoked on the ground. More drones flew in from every direction. Their red eyes glowed bright. They moved faster now, smarter. The old Vorath machines were learning. They flew in tight groups. Some stayed high and shot down beams. Others came low and tried to circle. Ji-hoon did not hide. She stepped forward. Her boots crunched on broken stone. She aimed quick. One shot. A drone in the front exploded. Sparks flew like fireworks. She turned left. Another shot. Another drone fell. She walked slow but sure, like she owned the ground. Ji-hoon forced himself to stand. He picked up his empty gun and used it like a stick to help him walk. He limped to a pile of old metal parts near the wall. He found a small power cell from one of the dead drones. It still glowed weak blue. He pulled wires from his tool belt. His fingers moved fast, even though they shook from pain. "Ji-hoon," he called. His voice was rough. "I can make something. Give me a minute." She did not look back. "Make it fast." A drone dove at her from the side. She spun and fired. The beam from the drone missed her head by a hair. Her bullet hit its core. It crashed into the dirt and rolled. Smoke came out. Ji-hoon worked quicker. He connected the power cell to a small grenade he carried. He twisted wires together. Sparks jumped. He made a crude jammer. It would send a pulse to mess up the drone's shields for a few seconds. He threw the jammer high. It landed between two groups of drones. He pressed the button on his wrist control. A sharp buzz filled the air. Blue light flashed. Every drone near it froze for a moment. Their shields flickered and died. Ji-un saw it. She moved like lightning. She ran straight at them. Her rifle barked again and again. Drones dropped one after another. Metal pieces rained down. She jumped over a fallen one and kicked another out of the air. It hit the ground hard and broke. Ji-hoon watched her. Even hurt, he felt something warm in his chest. She was not just fighting to save him. She was fighting because she hated to lose. And right now, the machines were losing. But the Vorath were not done. From deep in the ruins, the ground shook. A big door opened with a loud groan. Out came something new. It was tall, twice the height of a man. Its body was black metal. 4 long arms ended in sharp blades and guns. Red lights ran along its chest like veins. It walked slow but heavy. Each step cracked the stone under it. Ji-un stopped. She looked up at it. The big machine raised one arm. A deep voice came from it, cold and metal. "Intruders, you will be removed." Ji-hoon shouted, "Ji-un, get back!" She did not move. She changed the setting on her rifle to full power. The gun hummed louder. The big machine fired. A thick blue beam cut through the air. Ji-un rolled to the side. The beam hit the wall behind her. Stone exploded into dust. She came up firing. Bullets hit the machine's chest. They sparked, but did not go through. The armor was too thick. It swung a blade arm at her. She ducked low. The blade cut the air above her head. She rolled under it and shot at the joints in its legs. Sparks flew. One leg bent a little. The machine turned fast. It fired again. This time the beam grazed her arm. Her suit burned. She bit her lip and kept moving. Ji-hoon tried to help. He found another power cell. He threw it at the machine's feet. It exploded small. Smoke rose. The machine stepped back for a second. Ji-hoon used the moment. She ran close. She jumped onto its leg. She climbed fast, using the small holds in the metal. The machine tried to shake her off. She held tight. When she reached the chest, she pressed her rifle against a glowing red spot. She fired point blank. The shot went in deep. The machine screamed, a high, ugly sound. Blue light leaked from the hole. It staggered. Ji-hoon jumped off, just as it fell. It crashed to the ground with a loud boom. Dust flew everywhere. She landed on her feet. Her arm smoked. Blood ran down her hand. She ignored it. Ji-hoon limped to her. "You okay?" She nodded once. "We need to keep moving. They will send more." They looked around. The ruins went deeper. Old stairs led down into dark tunnels. In the distance, a faint blue glow came from below. Ji-hoon pointed. That light. It might be the center, the thing controlling all of them. Ji-hoon looked at him. His face was pale. Sweat ran down his forehead. "You cannot walk much more," she said. "I can," he answered. "We go together." She did not argue. She put his arm over her shoulder. They started down the stairs. Each step hurt them both, but they moved. Behind them, the sky filled with more drones. But now they flew slower. They waited, like they knew something big was coming. Inside the tunnel, the air grew cold. The walls had more symbols. Some glowed. The blue light ahead grew stronger. Ji-hoon spoke low. "I came here to get you out. That was the plan. If I had to stay, I would. But the ship would leave. The people would live." Ji-hoon stopped for a second. He looked at her. "We do not leave each other. That is not how humans win. We win by staying, by fighting until the end. Together." She looked back at him. For the first time, her eyes softened a little. "Then we finish this. All of it." They kept going down. The tunnel opened into a big chamber. In the middle stood a tall crystal pillar. It pulsed with blue light. Around it, machines stood still. They watched, waiting. This was the heart. Ji-hoon tightened her grip on her rifle. Ji-hoon pulled a small tool from his belt. It was a scanner. He smiled weak. Let us see what makes these things tick. The machine started to move, slow at first, then faster. The real fight was just beginning. The bridge of the handbit was quiet, except for the soft beeps of machines and the low hum of engines. Everyone stared at the big screen. The shuttle from Alara was coming back fast. Smoke still rose from the moon below. Small flashes of light showed where Ji-hoon was still fighting. Captain Kim stood with his arms crossed. His face looked heavy. How many made it back, he asked. 4, a young officer answered. 2 injured badly. Ji-hoon stayed behind. A low murmur went through the crew. Ji-hoon was well liked. He was always calm, always ready to help. Now he was alone down there against machines no one understood. Ji-en stood near the front. She was not tall like Ji-hoon, but she looked strong. Her black hair was tied in a tight knot. Her uniform was clean and sharp. She had been Ji-hoon's partner for years. They trained together, ate together, laughed together. Sometimes they held hands when no one was looking. Everyone knew they were close. She watched the screen without blinking. On it, she saw Ji-hoon. The camera from his helmet was still sending pictures. He was behind a broken wall. Drones flew around him like angry insects. He fired his gun again and again. One drone exploded, another came closer. A blue beam hit close to his head. He did not move back. Ji-hoon's hands closed into fists so tight, her nails hurt her palms. Captain Kim spoke again. We cannot send another shuttle right now. The drones are targeting anything that comes close. We need to wait for a plan. Wait, Ji-hoon said. Her voice was quiet but hard. Everyone turned to look at her. Ji-hoon, the captain said carefully, I know he is important to you, but we have the whole ship to think about. We cannot lose more people. He is not dead yet, she said, and he will not die alone. She turned and walked out of the bridge. They knew better. Ji-hoon went straight to the hangar. The big room was full of shuttles and dropships. Workers in orange suits moved around, fixing things. She walked to the smallest, fastest dropship. It was called Hawk 3. It had thick armor and strong guns. It was made for fast rescue or attack. A mechanic named Min-sok saw her. Ji-hoon, what are you doing? Prepping for launch, she said. She started checking the controls. You can't go alone, Min-sok said. Captain's orders. No more flights until... She looked at him. Her eyes were cold. Move. Min-sok stepped back. He knew that look. Ji-hoon had a reputation. In training, she never lost. In fights, she never stopped until the other side was broken. People said she was kind most days, but when she decided something was the enemy, she ended it. No mercy. She climbed into the cockpit. She put on the helmet. Screens lit up around her. The ship powered on with a deep roar. On the bridge, an alarm sounded. Dropship Hawk 3 is launching, someone shouted. Captain Kim turned. Who is on it? Ji-hoon, the officer said. She overrode the lock. The captain sighed. Let her go, track her, and pray. The Hawk 3 shot out of the hangar like an arrow. It flew straight toward Alara. The moon grew bigger in the front window. Ji-hoon did not speak. She only thought of Ji-hoon. Memories came as she flew. She remembered when they first met. She was new in security training. Ji-hoon was already good. He helped her when she fell during a hard drill. He did not laugh. He just said, "Get up, try again." After that, they trained together every day. She remembered nights on the ship when everyone slept. They sat on the observation deck and looked at stars. He told her about his family back on Earth. She told him she had none left. He said, "Now you have me." She remembered the promise they made. If one of them was in trouble, the other would come, no matter what. The ship shook. Warning lights flashed. Drones had seen her. They rose from the moon like a storm, silver shapes with red eyes. They shot blue beams. One hit the wing. The ship tilted. Ji-hoon pulled hard on the controls. She spun the ship. She fired back with the front guns. 2 drones exploded. More came. She was close now. She could see the ruins. Smoke covered the ground. Flashes of gunfire showed where Ji-hoon was. She pushed the ship faster. Alarms screamed. The hull was hot. She ignored them. At the last second, when the drones were too close, she hit the eject button. The cockpit cover blew off. She shot out into space with her suit thrusters. The empty dropship crashed into a group of drones. It exploded in a big fireball. Many drones died in the blast. Ji-hoon fell toward the ground. She used small jets on her back to steer. Wind rushed past her helmet. She aimed for the ruins. She landed hard on one knee. Dust flew up around her. She stood up fast. Her rifle was already in her hands. Drones turned toward her. She did not wait. She fired. Precise shots. One drone after another fell. Sparks and smoke. She moved forward like she was walking through rain. She reached the broken wall where Ji-hoon was. He was sitting against it. His suit was torn. Blood covered his shoulder and leg. His gun was empty. He looked up when he heard her steps. His face was pale, but he smiled weakly. "Took you long enough," he said. Jia knelt beside him. She checked his wounds fast. "You look terrible." "You should see the other guys," he said. He tried to laugh, but coughed. She pulled a medical patch from her belt and pressed it on his shoulder. It hissed as it sealed the cut. Their red eyes glowed in the smoke. Ji-hoon stood up. She reloaded her rifle. "You started the fight," she said. Her voice was low and cold. She looked at the sky full of machines, then at Ji-hoon. "Now watch me finish it." She stepped out from cover. She walked straight toward the drones. They shot at her. Beams missed by inches. She did not run. She aimed and fired. Every shot hit. A drone fell, then another. She moved like she had practiced this 1,000 times. Ji-hoon watched from the wall. Even hurt, he felt proud. This was his Ji-hoon, the one who never backed down, the one who ended things. The drones kept coming, but now they had 2 humans to fight, and one of them was angry. The battle on Alara had changed. He started the fight. She finished it, mercilessly. The chamber under the ruins was huge and cold. Blue light from the tall crystal pillar in the center filled every corner. The pillar pulsed like a slow heartbeat. Around it stood rows of tall guardian machines. They were bigger than the ones on the surface. Their bodies were smooth black metal. Thin red lines glowed on their arms and heads. They did not move yet. They waited. Ji-hoon and Ji-hoon stood at the entrance. Dust still fell from their suits. Ji-hoon leaned on Ji-hoon. His leg dragged a little with each step. The pain in his shoulder made him breathe hard, but his eyes were clear. He held the small scanner in his good hand. Ji-hoon looked around. Her rifle stayed up. She counted the guardians, 12 on each side, all facing the pillar. In the middle of the pillar, a small dark spot floated inside the crystal. The brain of the whole Vorath network. "That dark thing," Ji-hoon said quietly. "If we break it, everything stops. All the drones, all the machines, gone." Ji-hoon nodded. "Then we break it." The guardians turned their heads at the same time. Red eyes lit up bright. A deep voice came from the pillar. It spoke in clear words, but cold like ice. "Primitives, you have entered the heart. Your kind awakened us. Now you will be erased." Ji-hoon smiled a little. "We did not come to talk." The guardians moved. They stepped forward together. Their feet made heavy thuds on the stone floor. Blades slid out from their arms. Guns on their shoulders hummed. Ji-hoon pushed Ji-hoon gently behind a thick stone column. "Stay here. Cover me." He shook his head. "No, we do this together." She looked at him for 1 second. Then she turned back to the machines. Ji-hoon raised his scanner. The small screen showed weak spots. The joints at the knees and elbows. The power lines under the chest plate. He spoke fast. Aim for the knees first. They slow down if the legs bend wrong. Then the chest. Hit the glowing lines. Ji-hoon did not answer with words. She answered with action. She ran out from cover. She fired at the first Guardian's knee. The bullet hit hard. Metal cracked. The leg bent. The machine stumbled. She kept moving. She slid under its swinging blade. She came up behind it and shot the power line in its back. Blue sparks flew. The Guardian fell forward with a crash. The others attacked. Beams shot from their shoulders. Ji-hoon rolled across the floor. Beams hit stone and made holes. She jumped up. She climbed onto the fallen Guardian. She used its body like a shield. From there she fired at 2 more. 1 bullet in each knee. Both machines dropped to the ground. Ji-hoon did not stay still. He limped to another column closer to the pillar. He pulled out a small tool from his belt. It was a plasma cutter. Small, but hot enough to cut metal. He started working on the floor near him. He cut a power cable that ran under the stone. Sparks jumped. Lights in the chamber flickered. The Guardians noticed. 3 turned toward him. Ji-hoon saw it. She shouted, "Ji-hoon!" She ran toward him. A Guardian blocked her path. It raised a blade. She ducked low and shot upward. The bullet went into its neck joint. The head sparked and hung loose. The machine swung blind. She kicked its leg and pushed past. She reached Ji-hoon just as a beam came close. She pulled him down. The beam hit the wall above them. Stone fell like rain. Ji-hoon kept cutting. "Almost there. If I overload this line, it will send power back to the pillar. It will hurt the core." "Do it," she said. She stood over him. She fired at the machines coming close, one after another. Her arms hurt from the recoil. Blood from her burned arm dripped on the floor. But she did not stop. The Guardians closed in. Only 6 left now. They moved smarter. 2 stayed back and shot beams. 4 came forward with blades. Ji-hoon changed her clip. She had only 1 more left. She looked at Ji-hoon. "How long?" 10 seconds, he said through gritted teeth. A Guardian reached them. It raised a blade high. Ji-hoon jumped in front. She caught the blade on her rifle. Metal screamed. The rifle bent. She pushed hard. The Guardian stepped back. She kicked its knee. It fell. Ji-hoon finished. He pulled the cut cable and touched it to another wire. A big spark jumped. The whole chamber shook. Lights went wild. The pillar's blue glow turned red. The core inside started to spin fast. The Guardians froze. Their red eyes blinked. Then they moved again, but slower, like they were confused. Ji-hoon grabbed Ji-hoon's arm. Now. They ran toward the pillar. Ji-hoon limped fast. Pain shot up his leg with every step. Ji-hoon half-carried him. A Guardian tried to stop them. Ji-hoon shot its chest. It fell. Another swung a blade. Ji-hoon ducked. The blade cut his suit open on the back. Fresh blood came. He did not stop. They reached the pillar. The core spun faster. Heat came off it. The air burned their skin. Ji-hoon pulled the last explosive charge from his pocket. It was small, but strong. "I set it on the crystal. It will crack it open." Ji-hoon looked up. The remaining Guardians were coming. Slow, but still dangerous. She took the charge from him. "You set the timer. I plant it." He shook his head. "No, together." The ground shook harder. Cracks ran up the walls. The pillar made a high whining sound. Ji-hoon set the timer. 5 seconds. He handed it back. Ji-hoon climbed the pillar. She used small holds in the crystal. Her hands bled. She reached the dark spot. She pushed hard to stick it. She jumped down. Ji-hoon pulled her close. They hid behind the fallen Guardian. The timer counted. 3, 2, 1. The explosion was bright and loud. The crystal shattered. Pieces flew like glass rain. The core broke open. Blue energy shot out in all directions. It hit the Guardians. They sparked and fell one by one. The chamber went dark for a second. Then small emergency lights came on, red and weak. Ji-hoon and Ji-yoon lay on the ground. Smoke filled the air. They coughed. Ji-hoon looked at her. Did it work? She listened. No more machine sounds. No hum. No footsteps. She nodded. It worked. But then a new sound came. A low rumble from deep under the floor. The self-destruct. The AI knew it lost. It wanted to take them with it. The ground cracked more. Walls started to fall. The ceiling groaned. Ji-hoon tried to stand. A big piece of stone fell on his legs. He cried out. He was trapped. Ji-hoon ran to him. She pulled at the stone. It was too heavy. Go, he said. There is an escape pod near the surface. You can make it. She shook her head. No. She kept pulling. Her hands bled more. The ceiling fell in pieces. Dust choked them. Ji-hoon grabbed her arm. Ji-hoon, listen. You finish this. Get the data from the core. Take it to the ship. Humanity needs it. She looked at him. Tears mixed with dust on her face. She leaned down. She kissed him hard. Her lips tasted like blood and smoke. You started the fight, she said. I finish it. Together. She found a small metal bar. She used it like a lever. She pushed with all her strength. The stone moved a little, then more. Ji-hoon pulled himself free. They helped each other up. They ran. The tunnel behind them collapsed. Rocks fell fast. They reached the stairs. They climbed, step by step, pain in every muscle. Behind them, the chamber exploded in fire. They made it to the surface just as the ground shook one last time. In the distance, an old escape pod sat half-buried in the ruins, Vorath design, but it still worked. They limped to it. Ji-hoon opened the door. They fell inside. She hit the launch button. The pod shook. It lifted off with a roar. As they rose, Ji-hoon looked down. The ruins burned. The escape pod shot up from the burning ruins like a small arrow of fire. Inside, the air was thick with smoke and the smell of hot metal. Ji-hoon lay on the floor. His back bled from the cut the blade had made. His legs felt numb under him. Ji-hoon sat next to him. She pressed a cloth hard against his wound. Her own hands were red with blood, hers and his. Her burned arms shook a little, but she did not let go. The pod shook hard as it climbed. Alarms beeped loud. Red lights flashed on the old Vorath control panel. Ji-hoon looked at the small window. Below them, the moon Alara looked angry. Fire spread across the ruins. Big pieces of stone and metal flew into the sky. The whole place was falling apart. The self-destruct had worked too well. Ji-hoon coughed. Blood came to his lips. Did we get the data? He asked in a weak voice. Ji-hoon nodded. Before they left the chamber, she had pulled a small crystal chip from the broken core. All their tech secrets were inside. Shields, weapons, power systems, everything. She had plugged it into her suit computer. The data was safe. She sent a quick burst signal up to the handbit just before launch. The ship would have it now. We got it, she said. The ship will know what to do. Ji-hoon tried to smile. Good. Humanity just got a big gift. The pod kept rising. It broke through the thin clouds. Stars appeared outside the window. Far above, the handbit waited like a silver mountain in space. Its lights looked warm and safe. On the bridge of the handbit, everyone watched the screens. Captain Kim stood with tight fists. The explosion on Alara had lit up the whole moon. They thought both were gone. No one spoke. Then a small blip appeared on the radar. A pod. Coming fast. It's them, an officer said. His voice cracked with hope. Captain Kim let out a long breath. Open the hangar. Get medical ready. Now. The pod flew closer. It wobbled. One engine sparked and died. Ji-yoon fought the controls. The old Vorath tech was not easy. She pulled levers and pressed buttons until the pod lined up with the hangar door. It entered with a hard bump. Metal scraped metal. The pod slid across the floor and stopped against a wall. Smoke poured out from under it. The hangar crew ran forward with tools and stretchers. The door hissed open. Ji-yoon stumbled out first. She turned back and helped Ji-hoon. He could not walk. 2 medics took him on a stretcher. Ji-yoon followed close. Her steps were slow. Every part of her hurt. In the medical bay, bright lights came on. Doctors worked fast. They cut open suits. They cleaned wounds. They gave shots for pain. Ji-hoon lay on a bed. Machines beeped around him. A tube went into his arm. Ji-yoon sat beside him. She held his hand. Her face was dirty with dust and blood, but her eyes were steady. "They will live," he said. "Both of them. Broken bones, burns, blood loss. But they are strong. They will heal." Ji-yoon nodded once. She did not say thank you. She just kept holding Ji-hoon's hand. Hours passed. The Hanbit turned away from Ilara. The engines hummed soft. The ship moved slow at first, then faster. It left the system behind. The moon became a small gray ball, then a dot, then nothing. On the bridge, Captain Kim looked at the data from the crystal chip. Scientists worked around him. Their faces showed surprise and excitement. "This is more than we hoped," one scientist said. "Shields that can stop energy weapons, engines that use less fuel, weapons we never dreamed of. With this, humanity can defend itself. We can build. We can grow." Captain Kim smiled for the first time in days. Ji-hoon started something big. Ji-yoon finished it. In the medical bay, Ji-hoon woke up. The pain was less now. He turned his head. Ji-yoon sat there. She had cleaned her face. Her arm was wrapped in white bandages. She looked tired, but calm. "Hey," he said. "Hey," she answered. "You okay?" "Better than you." It hurt, but it felt good. "We make a hell of a team." She looked at him. A small smile came to her lips. It was not big, but it was real. "Next time," she said, "let me start the fight." Ji-hoon closed his eyes for a moment. "Deal." Outside the window of the medical bay, stars moved slow. The Hanbit flew toward a new system, a place with green worlds and safe skies. The crew worked. Children played in the halls. Farmers checked their plants. Everyone knew what happened on Ilara. Stories spread fast. People talked about the man who stood alone against machines, and the woman who came for him, who fought like fire, who ended it. In the quiet nights, some people went to the observation deck. They looked at the stars. They thought about home. Not Earth anymore, but the future. A future humans would build with their own hands, with clever minds, with strong hearts, and sometimes with blood. Ji-hoon got better day by day. He walked with help at first, then alone. Ji-hoon trained again when her arm healed. She never talked much about Ilara. But when new people asked, she said simple words. He started the fight. I finished it. Mercilessly. And that was enough. The Hanbits sailed on. Humanity moved forward, stronger, braver, ready for whatever came next. Because when humans fight, they do not just survive.